Hey guys, I'm Blake Cohea. I'm the frontman for a band called Act&Being. I'm from Centerville, Ohio. I go to school at Johnson University, and today I'm just going to be interviewed about a couple questions about who I am and maybe give you a little bit more of an insight of who I am and who our band is and what we're all about. What's it like to be in front of a crowd? So our first show we played at a church, and only one of us, Taylor, had really played a show before. And so for all of us, it was a new experience, and it was a little different because like you practice with just the 5 of you in a room. At least, I mean, that's how most people practice. And so finally stepping in front of a crowd was different, but a good experience. I really don't pay too much attention to the crowd, so I don't really, it doesn't really faze me, I guess. I mean, of course, I am looking at some people in certain parts of the set, but for the most part, I'm there just kind of to play my music, our music. And so, as far as the crowd, I really just kind of view the crowd as just part of the family, part of the band. Like, I'm playing music with them. They're there to enjoy it, and we're going to enjoy it together. So, as far as differences between playing music just with the band opposed to playing with the crowd, it's not much of a difference. It just kind of feels the same. Because sometimes we have people come into the practice room with us and we just kind of jam out. That's what we're all about. So I love playing in front of people and with them because I feel like we're able to enjoy it with each other. So playing with the crowd is cool.
Just make sure that when it happens, you aren't standing still.
A lot of things made me want to be in a band. For me, I grew up playing sports. That's all I did. And like, I came from a musical family. Like, my brother's a very talented musician, my dad's a very talented musician, and so I was always around that, but I never really clicked with them as far as music. I looked up to them because I knew so much about music, but I didn't really know much about music. But it wasn't until like, I would say my junior year of high school, I had a good friend, Jimmy, he's a good friend of the band as well. He showed me some bands I don't want to mention because I'm not a fan of them as much anymore, but some bands that got me into music. And so I started listening to them, like, and when I say into music, into this genre of music, because I had listened to like classic rock in junior high every once in a while, just because that's what my brother and dad were into. But finally, like in high school, when I was introduced to these bands, I began to see something different in their genre of music. Something more community focused and more message driven, and I really appealed to that, or was attracted to that. And so I finally went to some shows my junior and senior year of high school, and it was kind of earth shattering for me or whatever. Like, I really connected with the people that are on stage because I could see a difference, I could see a genuineness in their heart, and the lyrics that they were saying was a lot more focused. It had a much clearer image and message than other genres of music. And so when I went to these shows and saw these guys that are some of the bigger bands in the world and the country for this genre of music, when I see them play and then they get off stage, and instead of going backstage and just hanging out and relaxing and pampering themselves, they came down and talked to me. They would talk to the people in the crowd, and they cared about what they were singing and what they were talking about. And so that was really influential on me. And when I saw the impact that they could have, I was like, I think I could possibly have that same kind of impact. Influences. Musically, some of my strongest influences, specifically for vocals, I guess. Number one is a band called Take It Back. I love Take It Back, long live. They were a band on Face Down Records, which I think they're touring again, which if they are, I might cry. But they're a band, ended in 2011, and the vocalist, he doesn't really like scream or anything, he just kind of yells. But what really gets me are his lyrics. Some of the more just blunt, open lyrics about just the way he sees things, and I really appreciate his transparency and the way he speaks openly about what he feels needs to change in the world and the church, and I really connected with that, and so he has just been a huge influence. I had never heard of them until I saw them, and then I saw them, and I was like, haha, I like them. With that question, who do I look up to? I look up to bands that understand that they aren't going to make much money doing this, but aware of that fact, they still stick to what they do, and they tour and they go and they live off of Happy Meals and cheap food and sleeping in Walmart parking lots. They live off that just to proclaim their message. They do that all with the understanding that despite their own conditions and their own lack of resources, they are still able to proclaim the message, preferably the message of the gospel. So yeah, that's the weird thing about being in Act&Being is we're all students at Johnson, and so we all have different responsibilities outside of the band. We're not like a lot of bands. I know it's not this way with every band, but a lot of bands that are still touring, they kind of started like when they were in high school, at least the musicians did, and so they were able to commit their early years and just to playing constantly as a band, and we don't have that. We came into school with each of our own individual focuses as far as majors and what we wanted to do in life, but we all also had the common understanding that we wanted to play music in a group, in a band, and play that as much as we could. And so it's been a cool just journey, seeing how we are able to balance those responsibilities. I know some years are easier than others, especially like this year. This year's just been a hard year. We're all upperclassmen now. We have a lot heavier course load, and just life has hit more than in past. But the biggest key for us is just communication, setting our goals early on in each semester and at the beginning of every year, and just knowing what we want to accomplish that following year. And that's really helped us maintain a decent schedule as far as playing shows or doing things outside of shows like recording or getting merch and that kind of stuff. And so it can be hard, but it's definitely worth it. And it's a great release, you know, when you're really busy and then you're able just to go up into the practice room and just wail on some instruments. That's always fun. So it's definitely hard balancing, but it builds character. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for giving me this time to answer some questions. Like I said, I'm the frontman for Act&Being. And actually a week from today, Saturday, December 13th, we have a show with an awesome band called Everly. It's their farewell show, and so we would love to see you guys out there. It's at the Concourse in downtown Knoxville. It'll be starting at 7 o'clock. We're playing with some other great bands, and we'd love to see you out there. Thanks for your time.